Good.
Yeah, this is what it feels like to be on the viewing room. This is
Have you watched Muppet's Christmas Carol?
years ago, long ago, I did.
Back in 92?
Yeah, probably around then. And not since. I remember loving it though.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie. It's because it's the classic tale, but done in Muppet style, right?
It's done Muppets. Charles Dickens Muppets.
Ooh, nothing makes Dickens better than some Muppets.
And now time for The Viewing Room with Adam and Ethan.
Welcome to the Viewing Room, where we talk about films new and old, local and global. Today we're going to be talking about the Muppets Christmas Carol movie, which was released on December 11th, 1992.
And proudly brought to us by Coliseum Presents.
Coliseum Presents. I wasn't able to make it when they played it, I guess, 2 weeks ago now.
Mm-hmm.
But
here's a testament to their ability to pick a movie for everyone. If you've been looking at the movie list and you're like, I don't really like any of these, keep checking every so often, because my mom has never been to a movie in the theater like ever. I mean, like she goes occasionally. I think she's been to 3 or 4 movies in the theater in my entire lifetime in like the past 20, 30 years because she just doesn't like it. But when I said, hey, I got an extra ticket to Muppet's Christmas Carol, you want to come? She was like, yeah, I would.
wow.
So they put on a movie that even my mom wanted to go.
Wow.
And normally she falls asleep during movies, and she didn't fall asleep during this movie. So,
Wow, I'm learning so much.
Right?
It's very impressive.
I
Wow.
was like saying, like, you know, keep checking what Coliseum has on because there's something for everybody there.
Yeah, it's exciting. Well, I'm excited for Christmas Vacation, which I think is the
Yes.
next one, December 20th.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
I'm looking forward to that one as well. So Muppet's Christmas Carol was released with a budget of 12 million USD, which I don't know if that's higher than I thought it would be. I don't know. Does that surprise you?
In a way, because Muppets are pretty big, and by this point, they're pretty well established.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at the same time, when you think about it, I mean, the number of actors and everything in the set, and it's relatively small scale compared to some of the blockbuster movies that we think of nowadays. Like, it's not like
Yeah. Well, I thought it would be a little higher than like. I thought it was. I thought it was higher than what I thought it was.
Like I can
Like-
see why. Like that's my initial reaction is, oh really? It's not higher than that. But then when you start thinking about it, it's like, well, do they really? I mean, it's just a bunch of puppets, and
Yeah.
there is some live action in it, but
I couldn't figure out how much Michael Caine was paid to play Ebenezer Scrooge in the movie, but it would have been funny. Like, yeah, he took home $3 million.
yeah.
It did gross $33 million at the box office, which is respectable. Again, maybe I thought it would have been grossing higher, but it was competing with films like Home Alone 2 and Aladdin, which were 2 other Disney movies that kind of came out that year. Yeah, so 33 respectable, but
Hey, if I had 33 million, I'd be pretty happy.
yeah, I mean that's fair enough. That's fair enough too, right? Obviously cast Michael Caine, Kermit the Frog, Gonzo, Fozzie the Bear.
See, that's where I mean, like your acting costs are slightly lower because you can have one person play half a dozen characters.
True. Well, I do like what they do here in the opening credits, and I think this is really awesome. And I can't remember off the top of my head if they do it in like the other Muppets movies.
Yeah.
But like they have Michael Caine, right? And then they have Kermit the Frog, and I think that's so cool.
I love that too. It's making the characters seem like because these characters from elsewhere and playing different characters, and now seeing them playing these characters, it is like they are actors in their own character,
Yeah, exactly. And well, this is the first major Muppets project after Jim Henson's death. And yeah, like Brian Henson took the helm as his directorial debut, which surprised a lot of people. Like, Michael Caine was on record saying like, "Wow." Halfway through production, he heard it was his like debut, and he was like, "Whoa, this guy's pretty good for like whatever." He is a Henson though, right? So obviously there's some talent in the family.
Yeah, some good genes.
But yeah, like this was the first major project, and so I think it was a lot of work for a lot of people to try and keep bringing back the magic of old Muppets movies, and I think it worked. I think it did it. For me, like this movie isn't like This isn't like top 100 movie of all time movie for me. It's like I've seen this before in other iterations, but it does really work for me. And we'll talk about that in a bit. But how do you feel as like a preliminary kind of intro?
Yeah, I mean the same as you. I mean, I've seen it before. It's a good movie. It's fun. It's relatively short, which is nice. It's just like short movie that you can just watch in an hour and a half. At Christmas.
Yeah.
Gets you in the spirit of the holiday, I guess you could say. Yeah, I mean overall, it's not winning any Oscars or anything, but it's a great movie.
I agree with you. That it is a good movie and it fits.
Mm-hmm.
The Muppets aspect fits better than I thought it would. And I guess I've seen this movie before, but yeah, it really does. I wasn't sitting there thinking like, whoa, like this feels out of place, and partly probably because of Michael Caine's performance. He does a fantastic job of reacting to inanimate objects, and yeah, I don't know. I think the overall, I don't know, like just shoving in the Muppets worked. Like obviously it was planned out and thought about, but I do think putting them in there, it was a good choice and it sold. I think audience can tell.
Yeah.
Should I do a synopsis? Mm-hmm. I feel like this is going to be a quick episode, man. Like,
yeah, we don't have a lot to say about this.
Yeah. And again, that's not to say this isn't a good movie. It's just like...
There's good movies and there's great movies.
Most people don't need me to retell the story of what happens in Charles Dickens, like...
Yeah, it's...
Whatever. But I'll read the synopsis here. Okay, so the Muppets Christmas Carol, sorry. The Muppets perform the classic Dickens tale with Kermit the Frog playing Bob Cratchit, the put-upon clerk of stingy Ebenezer Scrooge, played by Michael Caine. Other Muppets, Miss Piggy, Gonzo, Fozzie Bear, and Sam the Eagle weave in and out of the story, while Scrooge receives visits from spirits of 3 Christmases, past, present, and future. They show him the error of his self-serving ways, but the miserable old man seems to be past any hopes of redemption and happiness. Now, we talk about this thing, and this is something that I didn't like in this film. So Michael Caine does a great performance. I think he really sells it, and I think he's kind of funny, and it works.
Yeah.
And he was on record saying like that he was going to play this movie like he was working with the Royal Shakespeare Company. Yeah. I thought this was one of his more memorable roles, and I thought he did a great job. However, I felt like him freaking out was not. You know how most of these Christmas Carol movies you see like Ebenezer Scrooge's like, oh my god, I must be tripping out, right? He doesn't really do that much, and he gets over it pretty quickly. Now, I want to know from your perspective, do you think that's just something they did to like speed things along a little bit, or do you think he's less scared because intentionally they wanted the Muppets to come off as less scary because they're Muppets, not like actual ghosts? Or is that just, am I looking too far into it?
I don't know. It was a thing that I noticed. I felt like his reaction sometimes to some of the Christmas the ghosts where it was a little bit off. But no, I mean that brings up a good point though about the Muppets being mixed in. So you got most of the main characters are Muppets besides Scrooge.
Uh-huh.
But then in the background all the extras are either Muppets or real people. It's like a combination.
50,
it's like
50, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think that part is cuz that's just like, a normal background population for him, I guess. So I don't think that part is very hold on. Heater came on.
I mean, maybe I am looking too far into it. I don't know. I was trying to really break down and give my analysis, and then I realized halfway through watching it, like, I'm watching a Muppets movie.
You're watching a Muppets movie. You can't read too much into it. But I will say, though, that I did feel like sometimes his reactions were a little bit off. Like, I thought he was okay, but I didn't think he was fantastic by any means.
No, I don't think it was Oscar-winning performance, but I do think he really does sell that it's like, the Muppets feel real. Mm-hmm. And I think that's very impressive on Michael Caine's part. Well, I think, though, like, the freaking out in of itself, like, if I like to say specifically what I mean, like when he's like finds out Tiny Tim dies, that's perfect, fine, whatever. Like he has the right amount of tears or freak out. Oh no, please don't let this be happen. Like I don't want to see this sight, whatever. It's more of like just the fact that the ghosts come in and of itself. He's not like freaking out like, oh my god, these ghosts are taking me around and this is crazy. He's more of like, I must have had some bad cheese, and now, and now I'm having LSD dreams from the bad cheese I ate.
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, I don't know. Again, maybe they did that on purpose because they speed things up and want the Muppets to seem cute and adorable and not like terrifying ghosts. But
I don't know. The other thing that really, to me, makes the Muppets seem more realistic is the way they shoot it.
yes,
In terms of, like, I mean, it's a puppet, right? It's on somebody's arm. So, well, not exactly, but sort of. And so, but you never, it doesn't feel like puppets.
especially when they go low to the ground and shoot stuff with Beaker, which makes me realize that like when they probably pushed in for tighter shots like that on the ground, they probably rebuilt that set on a table or like that macro environment and had it someone doing that in like a pile of like when he digs through like the snow or something like that.
See, if it's a pure Muppets
Like,
movie,
wow.
it's relatively easy because it's all one scale. But when you mix Muppets and live action, you now have two scale sets, and they have to match.
I do think though this was, I think if I remember reading this correctly, the first Muppets movie to use computer generated imaging as like not a backup, but like to assist in the process. So
I mean,
think
even just
of
some
that
basic like wire removal and stuff for their arms. Like you don't see the wires like
Sure.
you would in a real puppet show.
I think some of that was done for the Ghost of Christmas Present. Again, I didn't write that down.
There's some CGI in there for sure.
But yeah, I think this is one of the first Muppets movies to play with that. But yeah, you definitely can see like when they push into those small environments, like wow. And it would be easier to make a Muppets movie nowadays, in my opinion, because you can just animate limbs and stuff like that, anyways. So, but again, if you're
but
looking
giving
at
it that puppets vibe.
if you're looking at the art of it, then yeah, like I don't really care if I see strings of the puppets because I know I'm looking at a puppet, and it just makes me appreciate it more. Like in my opinion, I mean, some people are like, oh my god, when I saw Kermit's string, that sounds weird.
That sounds weird.
When I saw the Muppets string, like that took me out of the film. But like no, like I think that's like more charm than anything. It's like wow, there is actually a team of people who are passionate about this, putting in a ton of effort to make it look real and animated, and we're not throwing all of our money into CGI barf. That's there's passionate people working on that too, but I think you can just tell that I think there's more of an art in a certain way because it's something a little bit more tangible than like a program on a computer generating it. It's more of a human element in my
That's a
opinion.
very good point about CGI versus practical effects. Like I mean, like you say, when you're touching like CGI, there isn't that hands-on. You like created this. I mean, you create it from scratch, but there's a difference between like a handcrafted thing. Yeah, I guess I'm just re-saying what you said.
No, but that's fair, right? And
Yeah.
you get that, I get that.
Yeah.
And I think anyone watching kind of gets that because, yeah, it's a very human element. You don't have to explain it to understand it.
Oh, and I think also there's like, I don't think you can fully replicate in CGI, like just the way a really good puppeteer like just like moves, like even just the head and the way they move the head, just there's a certain way that you cannot replicate in CGI, in my opinion. Just I don't know.
And in my opinion, too, the room for like the margin for error when dealing with a puppet like that also gives it that element of kind of like, yeah, with the computer generated image, everything might be so rendered high in frame, whatever, like 120 FPS and look crystal clear, whatever. But I do think like when the Muppet accidentally opens its mouth a bit and has to close it, and you see that, it's kind of like funny, and like it does give it
And that
again more elements.
That imperfection is what
Thank you. I just threw my pen at you.
Imperfection is what makes it perfect.
Yes.
Right? Like, I mean, if something is perfectly uniform and perfect, like if I just, make a red wall, in CGI, it's perfect red. I've told it every pixel is that same color. But if I paint a wall red, there's variation in it. It's not perfect paint job. I mean, it's and it feels more real. That's what makes things perfect is imperfection.
Yeah. Wow. That was very profound. Impressive.
That's why you are perfect, because you're imperfect.
Wow. Thank you. Well, you're here to hear, folks. 3 inches is better. Sorry. Just threw in a fun fact.
3-inch stacks of money.
I don't know what happened. My book got like really soft. I just that's a little random, but I remember this book being more firm. Feel it now.
I don't want to feel it.
Just feel it.
No. Whoa, hold on there, buddy.
I don't know. It's just throwing me off. Okay. I guess we can go through a plot. Because we do that sometimes. If you've seen a Christmas Carol or whatever, what's gonna happen. Ebenezer Scrooge, Michael Caine. He's not a good guy. He's very bah humbug, not cheerful. Boo Christmas. And Kermit the Frog plays Bob Cratchit, right?
Cratchit.
Bob Cratchit. There we go. Yeah. I don't think we need to do all this.
No, basically, he has an LSD trip where it goes to past Christmas, shows him what it used to be like. It reminds him of his past. The lost love. Goes to the Christmas present, shows him what's happening this Christmas. Goes to the future, shows him what's going to happen and how gloomy and terrible it's going to be. He changes his ways. Everybody lives happily ever after. The end.
Yes. I was just thinking, Ghost of Christmas Present, do they show the Christmas dinner?
Yeah. Because remember, that's where we see Tiny Tim, and he's getting up to his table, and
Wouldn't you technically argue that is future?
Still true. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I just thought about that.
It's this Christmas, I guess, is the way you're thinking about it.
Unless that was their Christmas Eve dinner, but
yeah, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just okay.
But
now
really,
12 hours considered.
But
future?
really, if you're going actual Christmas present, everybody would be sleeping because it's the middle of the night. So I guess the theory is it's this Christmas.
It doesn't have the same vibe because if you stare at Tiny Tim sleeping and coughing in his sleep,
yeah, it's just kind of creepy then.
Okay, wow. Yeah, exactly. It's the tale that we all know. But it's redone with the Muppets and Gonzo and Beaker.
Oh, they're hilarious. The mouse is friggin' hilarious.
They narrate and kind of give a voice to the viewers of what's happening.
It's interesting. A thing that I noticed. So the two narrators, what's the Gonzo and what's his name? Beaker. Yeah, they're
I think
they're in the scene, but they're not acknowledged in the scene. They're narrating it, and so characters in the scene don't acknowledge them until we get to. Oh, there's my pizza.
There's the pizza. I was going to talk about this too, so I'm very excited you said that. But now we're going to take a lunch break, I guess. Hi, Maggie. I don't know if Adam's going to cut this. We might just be trying to pad the runtime. But, yeah, the door's closed now. I don't know if I should, say deep, dark secrets now that Adam's gone. Oh, my God, Gary, I didn't even know you were in here. You want to come up on stage? Let's surprise Adam. Come do a little segment. But we have to. But the second you hear that door open, you have to pretend you're not on stage. Okay?
Pretend, but I'm already here.
I don't. Okay. How was your day?
I'm good.
Good.
Yeah, this is what it feels like to be on the viewing room. This is
Have you watched Muppet's Christmas Carol?
Years ago, long ago, I did.
Back in '92.
Yeah, probably around then. And not since. I remember loving it though.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie. It's because it's the classic tale, but done in Muppet style, right?
It's done Muppets. Charles Dickens Muppets.
Ooh, nothing makes Dickens better than some Muppets.
So, the Muppets fit really well in this movie. That's something Adam and I are talking about.
Yeah.
They work, and it's surprisingly great how easy it was for them just to put Muppets in. Because I feel like if they did it with
Gremlins?
Gremlins, it wouldn't have worked, right? But
Definitely.
so how do you feel coming in as? Would you rather watch the original or would you rather watch it as a Muppets? And does it fit? Does it?
Oh,
work?
Muppets all day. I like humor. I don't want the
it's
scary stuff. I want it to be
Yeah.
done the Disney one same way. I want it to be fun. Although the Disney one was scary too.
This is a Disney one.
See you later. That looks about right. Okay.
You can stay.
Oh, I thought you told me to get out of here once you got back.
No.
Did Gary ruin the show?
Never, not me.
Gary's never ruined anything.
No, Gary hasn't. Oh, yeah, I got to do my Asher's Pizza review here. We got to get the ceiling cam going.
So Gary and I were just talking about how if you would rather watch the original or like the Muppets adaptation. And I agree with Gary that I kind of would rather watch the Muppets version.
It's more interesting because the basic Christmas Carol tale is relatively simple.
It's kind of boring.
It's kind of boring.
It's kind of boring and scary and weird. That
So,
smells good.
Eating pizza on the stove, baby. Everything Ryan says not to do or do it. The bad boy in the podcast right here.
Oh, hot.
Whew. I'm good, thank you.
All right, I'm just eating pizza by myself. Gary, you want any pizza?
I'm good, buddy. I fasted. Looks good, though.
Maggie wants
Can you
pizza.
go back to playing music while I talk? Because this is way worse. This is way worse. I just decided.
Okay, let's keep going.
Wow, it smells really good in here. It's distracting. Oh, sorry, I almost just kicked Maggie in the face. That's my bad, bro. Okay. So the ghosts come, whatever. We learn that. Why am I? Well, I was gonna say Bob Marley. What's this? What's Ebenezer Scrooge? Why was I thinking Bob Marley? What,
Those are like polar opposites.
no, I don't
Bob
know
Marley,
what the
don't worry, be happy. Ebenezer
That's
Scrooge.
not-
Yeah, it's Bob Marley.
That's not Bob Marley.
Bob Marley.
That's Bob Marley, dude.
That's Bob Marley.
No.
That's Bob Marley.
Bout a ding, 'cause every little thing is gonna be alright.
That's Bob Marley.
That's Bob Marley.
Same goddamn
No.
difference, you fucktard.
Whoa. No. That's crazy. That's crazy, first of all. I don't know why I was thinking about Bob Marley. I was thinking about Bob Cratchit for some reason, and that was going to lead me back to whatever. Is there someone named Marley in this movie, too? Who's named Marley in this movie? Jacob Marley. The ghost. Like the old partner or whatever. Jacob Marley. That's why. I was thinking Bob Cratchit and Marley, whatever. Jacob Marley. And that's why I was coming up with Bob Marley. So that's a fun fact. No, so what were we talking about, dude? I spent so long
We were
thinking about
talking
Bob
about-
Marley that now I just want to go watch the Bob Marley movie instead.
The about how he the narrators aren't in the scene until the end. Remember
Yes. There's
when he gets them to carry the 20-pound turkey?
The 20-pound turkey is carried by just a random kid on the street.
Right.
But he does say Merry Christmas to them, and that feels kind of like a plot hole because here's the thing. In all the scenes, they're trying to hide from other characters in a way, like when they go into Scrooge's house. But they...
Or are they trying to hide from Scrooge because they're breaking and entering in all these places?
Well, yeah, but no one sees them. Then
True.
they have like a magic carriage or whatever. Scrooge walks right past them, doesn't say anything until the end of the movie. So does that mean he's like opened his heart and can finally see Muppets as people now?
Yes. This movie has subtones of racism.
Well, that is kind of an underlying thing where it's like we're trying to treat old people as equals. Because at the start of the movie, he's like, yeah, I'd rather the homeless die and the poor die. And then he's like Tiny Tim, who is crippled and poor. He's like, yo, like, I don't want you to die. Have a turkey. And that cures his illness. No.
Yeah, no, what cures his illness is him giving him a raise. Giving Bob a raise so that he can actually pay for his treatment.
And that's why companies host pizza parties. Because you can cure all of your employees without spending large amounts of money.
Or just pay them
Or just pay them. That's true.
properly.
But Gary knows we like pizza more. So.
To me, it doesn't feel like that much of a plot hole because,
It's a freaking Muppets movie, man.
well, but also, it's representing his character's change. I mean, that's the whole point of it, is that his character has changed. Oh shit.
That's crazy. Where are you going? The damage is already done, dude. That's not coming out.
Yeah, but
You just spilled pizza sauce on his pants, and he licked the pizza sauce off. That's Maggie's job.
I'm sorry, Maggie.
Where'd you get all those napkins? What the hell? Why do you need 9 napkins? How
That's
messy
just what,
of an eater
that's
are
just
you?
what Gary gave me.
Okay. No, dude, no. From my angle, that looks awful. Let's not do that. I want to talk about the ghost. This is all over the place. Whatever. I don't even care anymore. The Ghost of Christmas Past. My least favorite part of this film. What an ugly, creepy abomination of whatever that was.
Oh, the angel weird girl kid
Yeah.
thing. Yeah,
Ugh.
that was creepy.
Like, dude.
Like it was actually a horror movie at that point.
It was like amalgamation of like Muppet and girl like mixed together. Like, I don't know. That really freaked me out.
Baby
actually.
Jesus.
What? No, yeah, that just really messed with me, man. Like, I don't know how I feel.
No,
about
that one was weird. Honestly, my favorite one is the Ghost of Christmas Future Present or whatever it is.
Present. Yeah,
The
he's
big
funny.
jolly dude. Yeah.
The oh man, there's some great lines in this film, but I think my favorite one was solitary as an oyster when they're describing Scrooge.
Yes.
That's a great line. As solitary as an oyster, ma'am. Fantastic. What else? I've talked about most of the things I want to talk about, man.
Honestly, I don't have much more to say about this movie.
Oh my God, Gary, how long is this episode?
28 minutes.
Yeah, let's call it 30
No.
minutes. I don't have anything else to talk about.
I have more to talk about.
Okay, well then talk about it.
This is Disney's 134th live-action film, and it was the first Muppets film to have the Disney logo.
Did Disney buy it in the meantime?
I don't know. I think they were. Maybe something happened after Jim Henson's death.
I'm not
But-
familiar enough with the business side of the Muppets to know, like, were they their own studio or was it a TV network? I don't know who.
They shot it at a studio, whatever, because it was the second. It was actually the second studio. I forget which studio it was called. It was the second studio to do a remake of A Christmas Carol.
Right, but was it like, for example, Lucasfilm, where they were their own studio and then Disney bought them out?
I'm not sure, but Disney does have their logos on this one, the old mouse paws. But yeah, so that's that. I don't really have much facts or likes or dislikes. I mean, I think this movie fits. I think it works. There's some sad moments, but like again, we've seen this before. If you've seen A Christmas Carol, obviously you know what to expect, right? And there's 100 million. Every generation of time has an adaptation of this book. Or novel or whatever, or play or screenplay, whatever. And yeah, we've seen this before. It does a good job retelling the story in a creative way that's suitable for children, but maybe less suitable than you'd expect. They do talk about death and a lot of stuff, but again, it does still have those feelings of like, wow, Christmas cheer, and like, we're all in this together, and like, whatever, be kind to one another. But It fits as a stage, but yes, I've seen this before. It's like when we talk about Gladiator 2 compared to Gladiator 1. I saw this 20 years ago, right? No, this is more of a direct adaptation, whatever. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a
like-
retelling of the story.
Right.
They were. Yeah, I don't know.
That's what I have, man. Like
All right,
that's all right.
let's rate it and get out of here.
You want to rate it and get out of here? Wow.
Well, what's the point in going on and on if we don't have anything
No, that's
meaningful
fair
to
enough.
say.
I was just wondering if you had extra ammo in the tank, because I did my pieces.
I don't keep ammo in tanks.
You're gonna have some ammo after you finish that pizza. Okay, you rate it. Give me a rating. Talk a little bit about like what you like and dislike, though. Just tell me a bit. Tell the audience.
Already did.
Tell the audience what you really like and what you really don't like.
Why does that sound dirty?
I don't know. I didn't.
I don't know. It's a classic story, and they adapt it well to use the Muppets. I don't have any more to say than that. It's
Okay.
good. It's just a solid movie.
It's a solid movie, but again, yeah, like I don't think it's like to me it doesn't hold a special place in my heart or anything like that. It's just like, yeah, I saw that movie. It was decent. Do I need to see it again ever? Probably not.
Nope.
But you know what? Like, did I enjoy the time I had with it? Yeah, I did.
Okay, I am going to rate it a 6.8.
Yeah, I'll probably give it like, I'm gonna say a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, whatever. I saw this movie already.
Yeah.
And it was funny, good sense of humor, things fit well, but yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Is that it?
That's it.
Wow, jeez.
Shortest episode yet.
Thanks to Aaron and Rachel at Coliseum Presents for always putting on incredible events and
Bob's buttons too. He's been bringing buttons for the last several shows.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get quite the collection of buttons.
I know, dude. I have my ET button, and man, it's awesome.
Yeah, he had some for Muppets Christmas as well there. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We do have an Instagram at @theviewingroom_ and a Patreon at Dufferin Avenue Media. Thanks for watching this episode, and we'll see you next time.